stars and lava lamplights. Nostalgia Mania, let your memories fly. Toys R Us tears in a surge soda high. From hair gel spikes to butterfly clips, we're bringing it back. No skips, just hits. Nostalgia Mania, come take the trip.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome in to episode 40 of Nostalgia Mania. I am your host, the real Josh Elliott, and with me, as always, Bryan J. Baby. What's up, man?
Hey, not a whole lot. On location in Dallas, Texas.
Man, you're in a hotel room. I'm in a hotel room. We're both on location, only I'm still in the state of Missouri. You're a little bit further south than I am.
Just a little bit warmer here.
Yeah. It's plenty warm here. Trust me.
It's about the same, I'd say. Not too bad yet.
Good, guys. If you are just joining us for Nostalgia Mania for the first time, we are your go-to podcast for reliving the games, movies, toys, and all the nostalgia that defined the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. Today's episode 40, we're going to dive into the gritty streets of 1987, my birth year, actually.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
1987, to the arcade classic Double Dragon. Revolutionary co-op gameplay. That shocking final battle. If you guys have ever beaten the game, you know what I'm talking about. And we'll talk about the home consoles as well. We're going to specifically talk about the arcade for the most part, but we'll jump into everything. Today's episode, Double Dragon. You can see it down below. Brian, appreciate you being back, man. You missed last week's episode. I missed having you.
I did. I was on vacation. Wait, last week? No, last week I was.
But you got sent right when you got back. You got sent away.
My brain is scrambled right now because we were on vacation. We left on a Saturday, came back the next Saturday. The very next day, I had to drive to Omaha, Nebraska for 2 days. Once I got back, I had to go work in the caves at one of the warehouses for work for a couple of days, and it's just been crazy. So then after that, Sunday I flew here to Dallas. Nice. So life's been kind of crazy right now. I'm ready for it to settle down a bit. So
you're getting all those airfare miles though.
Airfare miles, hotel points. Yeah, I'm doing okay there.
There you go. There you go. So we did cover I covered Problem Child last week, a movie that I had not seen in probably since the 90s, and I had forgotten a lot of what. And I knew what the concept was and what it was about and things that happened, but I forgot a lot of that whole story. Is there anything that you wanted to touch on Problem Child before we hop into the topic today?
I honestly don't remember a whole lot of it. I remember the problem child himself. Was that John Ritter was the father, I believe. And I have always been a fan of his, so of course I like the movie. But I probably saw it maybe a year or two after it came out, so that was the last time I've seen it. I don't remember a ton, but I know that I liked it.
You talk John Ritter, man. All-time classic, Three's Company.
Yes.
And also, I don't know if you watched, I'm a huge fan of Stephen King's It. And the original, he's in the original. He plays the grown-up version of Ben in that one. So
he is. Yeah, it's he was one of my favorite actors.
Yeah, I love John
Absolutely.
Ritter. So let's go ahead and dive into this. We're talking Double Dragon, man, and just a little bit for those of you who have never played Double Dragon. This is the basic concept is two martial artist brothers named Billy and Jimmy Lee set out to rescue Billy's girlfriend Marian, who has been kidnapped by the street gang, which they are known as the Black Warriors. Now, at the very beginning of the game, and you'll see it in the intro that we'll play here in a second. You'll see, these street gangs coming and picking her up and taking her away right at the very beginning. So that's kind of what you're fighting for is the girlfriend, Billy's girlfriend. You're fighting through environments filled with thugs, brawlers, bosses, and you basically use your martial arts skills to fight through the levels and to save Marian. And what better way to start off than, as we always do with video games, and let's play the intro to Double Dragon and a little bit of gameplay before we jump into it. What were you doing in 1987 when this game was released?
I was 12 years old. This game I don't really remember playing a whole lot on the stand-up arcade. I remember seeing it, but it was only a year later that they introduced it on Nintendo. And by then we had a Nintendo, and my brother and I actually played a lot of this game. You say the epic battle at the end. We never reached the end. As much as we played, and we played a lot, we never got to the actual end.
And I think the NES version, and so this game was released on a ton of different platforms. Two different Atari, the 2600 and the 7800?
Yes.
Anyway, two different Atari versions, NES, like 2 or 3 computers.
On the Genesis?
The Genesis, it was on like the Sega Master, or maybe that's what I'm talking about, the Sega Master System. It
was on everything.
Yeah. And I think the NES version was the closest to the arcade than any other version. Yeah. So you got pretty close. That's what you mostly played. So... yeah, 87. I mean, when this game was released, I wasn't even born yet. Actually, I wasn't born yet. I was 3 months away from being born. I was born in July. This was released in April. And it got released, like you said, on NES, and on the Famicom was also another version of it a year later. This was a follow-up. Have you ever played Renegade?
Yes, I actually did play Renegade. That one I did play on the arcade.
Yeah. So this is like the follow-up to that game, to Renegade. Mm-hmm. And but let's talk, man. Like so you're 12. Yeah. Did you spend much time in the arcades at 12 years old, or is that we were too young?
At 12 I did. My family was a bowling family, not my home family like my mom and dad, but my aunt and uncle and cousins, and I spent a lot of time with them. So I was, 12 years old. I didn't want to watch them bowl, so I'd bring my lawn mowing money and I would go play video games. And the funny thing is, I remember playing a lot of Renegade, and I just bounced from game to game, but I did play Renegade quite a bit. I didn't actually put together that these two were tied into each other until you mentioned doing this for the podcast. And then I was researching and I was like, wow, it makes a lot of sense. It really does. But I spent a lot of time in arcades.
The arcade atmosphere, or the it had a lot of great games in '87. I mean, Double Dragon was one that I always gravitated toward because I love those co-op arcades or games. Like and it's different than playing at home and playing against like a Mortal Kombat or a Street Fighter or Madden or whatever that you played against each other and stuff like that. I always, as a kid, loved being able to play a game cooperatively together and go try to beat the game. And this is sorry, I'm ignoring the chat here. My bad. Hunter Dillon's in the house. Appreciate Hunter. How you doing? Autumn is in the house as always. Appreciate you for tuning in. But the arcade, man, like you got Double Dragon. You had Rampage, which was a phenomenal game. Yeah, that 3-player game where you're the gorilla or the dinosaur. And there's a third character, can't remember. You had Street Fighter, you had Contra, you had Black Tiger. Yeah, I mean, there was a ton of games in the late '80s that were in the arcade.
And looking at Double Dragon, it's like I think Double Dragon was one of the first kind to kind of do this format, and it kind of like opened the way for Contra and opened the way for games like that. And like I did play a lot of Contra as well. And my love of Contra came from Double Dragon. Because as I said, I went to my aunt and uncle's house a lot, and I stayed like weekends there, and in the summertime a lot, because my cousin and I are similar age range. So we'd always go up and like rent video games at the store, and you could do that at a grocery store. They would have video games, and we'd go up there and rent. And we rented Double Dragon a lot and Contra, and so this game was right up my alley,
Oh yeah, I mean this was like the birth of, not really birth, but it was like the platform for beat 'em ups, or the button mashing, beat 'em up genre, really.
And then you had like Contra, and then later on you had like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Played a lot off this. There was a lot of games that kind of took their origins from Double Dragon.
I was a big Power Rangers fan, and they had that Power Rangers side-scrolling beat 'em up game, and I love that game too. So
I remember the game. I watched the show more than I played the game, but yes, I remember that quite a bit.
Dude, speaking of that, I know this is off topic, but so Tommy, Jason David Frank, that played the Green Ranger and the White Ranger in the original. Did you know that like he stayed with the Power Rangers for many iterations of them and ended up playing the Red Ranger at some point? And
he was the main one for quite a long time, and I think you and I need to delve into that sometime. That's going to be a longer episode, the Power Rangers. Because there's a whole lot to that backstory. I actually watched a documentary on it on YouTube not too long ago. There's a lot going on with, and they severely got underpaid, but he stuck with them. And
so I quit like the original, and then I watched, I know this is, but whatever, the original Power Rangers, and then I think they made the movie in like 95 or 96, and then like shortly thereafter I started getting a little bit older, and then I kind of veered away from them, and then there was so many more versions like Dino Rangers and whatever, but I didn't realize Jason David Frank stuck with them, Tommy, and for so many years after that. That's kind of crazy.
He did.
So, but yes, we're gonna put that on the bucket list for in the next couple months. We're gonna break down Power Rangers.
We need to.
But so I got a couple screenshots here of some of the bosses that you kind of roll through in the game here. So this one's Abobo.
I remember Abobo.
Yeah, this is one of the first guys you face, pretty much. A buff macho man. So kicks, punches, tackles you at some point in time. So this is one that one of my most memorable ones for sure.
Oh, yeah.
You've also got this is Willie at the top with the gun. So Abobo's down below, but you can see. I think this is a screenshot from. I don't know if this is the arcade or if this is. I think it is the arcade because the time's up there.
Yeah, it kind of looks like it.
Yeah, and then because you can you see Abobo is different in this one, so this screenshot here must be different. Must be a different version than. But yeah, Willie's up there with the gun. That's iconic. Linda's one as well that that kind of looks like a modern day kind of like Beth Phoenix or you know, kind of a female wrestler that's gonna beat your ass.
I never put that together like that, but yes, it does look kind of like a Beth Phoenix.
Yeah, like that's crazy. So, but let's for those of you listening, you may remember, and if you anybody have listened or watched over any length of time from Nostalgia Mania, you remember that sometimes we have a third member of Nostalgia Mania. And the third member, and it's not what you think,
Okay.
We used to call it the 3-man band, and it was myself, Stitchamania, and then also occasionally there for probably a stretch of 7 or 8 episodes, my uncle, Jason Wallace, would join the podcast and kind of give his input on some of this stuff. Well, when I told him we were doing Double Dragon, he said, dude, I've got a clip for you. So we have a voice clip from Jason explaining memories of Double Dragon and kind of a cheat that he figured out on the game. So let's take a listen to the third member of Nostalgia Mania, Jason Wallace.
Okay. Double Dragon. I mostly played the stand-up arcade game, and I was at the bowling alley. So my parents were bowling, and I always got $5 to put in a token machine, but it only took me a quarter to beat that game. Once I figured out the glitch with the back elbow, you could beat anybody through the back elbow. All you had to do was, hit them once with the back elbow, make them fall down, get on the other side of them, a little bit up. When they got up, they would walk up to where you was at, and you could hit them with the back elbow. And you just kept doing that till the guy died. And, I could whoop 3, 4 guys like that at one time on that screen before you moved on. And it was cheating, basically. But, I could beat the whole game like that, doing one move. Bosses and all. So, Super Nintendo, I think it was on, don't quote me on that. I didn't play that much. I think I played it at a buddy's house or something, but you couldn't do it on Super Nintendo. But, the stand-up arcade game, I used to love playing that so much. It was fun. I could only make it so far before I, figured out the glitch. A guy showed me how to do the back elbow, and once I figured that out, it got kind of boring, so I went to different video games. I don't even remember what else they had up there, but Double Dragon. I played a lot of pool at the bowling alley after that. But other than that, love Double Dragon. It was a great video game.
So the back elbow, I guess, and I did a screenshot of the back elbow while he was talking, and I guess, and I've looked this up, and it's a pretty well known. I guess you can call it a glitch in the arcade version only. It was not in any other platform. You couldn't do it. But if you hit them with a back elbow and then go to the other side, now you can't stay on the same side. You have to go to the opposite end and a little bit up. As soon as they stand up, if you time it right, you hit them with the back elbow again, and that's all you do. And you can do that with every enemy, including bosses, all the way to the end.
See, I never knew that, not once. So now we need to find a stand-up arcade game.
Yeah, that's crazy. I had no idea either.
That is crazy. But did you notice he also said bowling alley?
He did.
And that was a very popular bowling alley game.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Well, it was popular everywhere, but like bowling alley specifically had them.
Well, yeah, he's talking about Capitol Bowling Lanes in Grandview, Missouri, because my parents also bowled, and I did the same thing. I would go ask them for $5. They would bowl 3 games. I would go play, for an hour with the $5. And Double Dragon was still up there in, mid 90s, 10 years after it was released. It's still popular 10 years later. So,
yeah.
But yeah,
and,
so
I mean, it's Double Dragon goes with bowling, apparently.
yeah.
And back then you could play a lot because games were only a quarter. You get $5, you're playing quite a few games.
Yep. Oh yeah. And he was talking about at the end before we cut it off. There was another game, Dragon Slayer, I think he called it.
Yes,
and it was
I think it's Dragon's Lair.
Oh, Dragon's Lair. Okay.
Yes.
And he said that was he loved that game too, and he said that was the one game in every arcade that cost 50 cents versus the normal 25. Yeah.
It is, and I will tell you why. It's because that was one of the first games that used actual cartoon graphics throughout the entire game. So when you played, it wasn't as pixelated. It was more cartoon looking as you go through the game. And it was very, very cool. It still is.
And that was that was one of the first RPGs, wasn't it? Kind of.
Yes, it was. At least on stand up, I think it was.
Stand up, nice.
So I mean, this game kind of launched all of that,
Yeah. Yep. And we were going to talk briefly a little bit about all the consoles, like you said. NES, Sega Genesis, Sega Master, Atari 2600. And I watched the video. I kind of wish I would have clipped it, but this guy went through every single version and showed it.
Oh, geez.
These Atari versions were god awful.
Yes.
Terrible. I mean, it was almost E.T. Atari bad, and E.T. has been known to be the worst game of all time.
E.T. was bad.
But
the thing with E.T. is E.T. was also very, very tough.
Yeah. I mean, but you only had 3 screens in the whole game to play.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, they tried. Every version tried. I mean, the computer version was decent, but it veered away too far from the original arcade.
Right.
NES was good. It was the closest and had probably the more similar graphics.
Yes.
But nothing beats the stand up.
Nothing beats the stand up, but Nintendo, I think, did a great job.
Came pretty close.
And that's the one that I played the most. So
yeah. And also, they were talking too that most of those games only had a 1 attack button. You could only kick. Whereas you're on the arcade, you're punching, you're kicking, you're jumping. You got 3 different actions where you couldn't do that on most of the home systems.
Yeah. I mean, Atari, you only had 1 button. So it was kind of, that's the only thing you could do.
Right. So as we get kind of close here to wrap it up, I do want to play. I've got a couple more game clips, but I'm going to do a real quick one here. It's the middle of the game. It's actually toward the end of the game, right before the final boss. And before we close out, I am going to show what happens when we beat the game, because it is kind of a crazy ending. But let's just do this in this gameplay clip real quick. So that's something I totally forgot. We completely glossed over this, but you can use weapons in the game.
Yeah.
Baseball.
You can pick up a weapon and use it. Yeah, it was fun.
What else was there? There's baseball bats? There was I think there was whips, if I remember seeing
Yeah,
that correctly.
there were
Knives.
whips, knives, baseball bats, and I don't know if there was much else.
There was an oil. I think there's an oil barrel that you can use, but I don't know if that was arcade
And
or
it
if
was,
that was
I think
Nintendo.
that was arcade, but I think it was in Nintendo also. But I think those were the only two.
I mean, it was kind of revolutionary, man, because like you could act like the enemies would walk up with the weapons. You could kick them out of their hands and then pick it up and use it against them. You didn't used to see that. Usually, when enemies would drop a weapon, they would just disappear and you wouldn't be able to use it. So
Yeah, exactly.
that's pretty cool.
I mean, and the weapons you couldn't use like forever; they would eventually go away. But
Yeah. Yep. But so did you watch? You know, I'm skipping on some of these screenshots, but there was a few versions that I saw online for the stand up. Some of this that has is that Tato. I'm not sure if I was pronouncing that right. On the side, there were some that had the Double Dragon logo on the side of it. I don't know what the official version was, but for some reason this jumped out at me as something that I remember seeing in the arcade or at the bowling alley with that gray, Tato side. So did you play any of the not remakes, but any of the games after that, like the Double Dragon 2?
I think I did, but it didn't really capture like the original,
Yeah.
It was fun, but we didn't play that one a whole lot. And some of that might have been, other games were out and we were playing those, but
yeah.
So I did look up the weapons. So you had bats, knives, dynamite. So you could throw dynamite, boxes, oil drums, tonfa, but that was only on versus mode of the NES, and just like in general heavy objects, like
So not a whip.
so not a whip.
Huh.
I swear there was a whip,
I thought there was
but
too.
that's what they're saying here. Let me see. Yep, there was a whip, actually. It is listed. It's down on the list, and a rock. I don't remember too many rocks, honestly. I remember mostly whips, knives, baseball bats, and oil drums.
Yeah, the baseball bats, the drums, and the knives are what I remember the most. And I do remember whips as well. Maybe it was something that looked like a whip, and I just thought it was a whip. I don't know.
Yeah, or maybe we're thinking too much of Castlevania.
There you go. Hey, Hunter Dillon says, good to see you again. Welcome back, Bryan J, baby.
Thank you, Hunter. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Broderick Hall's in the house. Appreciate Broderick. Don't call me Brody. I didn't call you Brody. I'd never call you Brody, Broderick.
We would never call you Brody unless it's show day.
That's just game day. Then it's always no. But no, they had a lot. Double Dragon 2: The Revenge did not do anywhere near as popular and as well as the first one. But you gotta capitalize, as most popular movies and things like that, they always gotta make a second one, which never lives up to the hype of the original.
Right.
So The Revenge. Then you had Double Dragon 3, which is called Sacred Stone or the Sacred Stones. Again, also made by Acclaim.
I don't even remember Double Dragon 3 coming out. I remember 2 coming out, but not 3.
Well, then you got even more modern. This one was for PS4, Double Dragon 4. That was kind of a more recent title. So, I mean, they're still cashing in on Double Dragon. I don't know if my internet's going to crap out here. I got one bar. There it goes. It's going back up. But anyway, they're still cashing in on Double Dragon 30 years later. 35, 37, whatever it is. However old I am is how many years I need to put on there.
I am so out of the loop, apparently.
Double Dragon and Battletoads. I was actually getting ready to say and talk about the Battletoads crossover. Do you have any information on the crossover?
I have zero information on that.
So I honestly do too, Brody. If you've got any information on that, so I have it written down on my sheet here, but I didn't like research it enough to be able to talk about it. So I do, however, remember, and I did see this. If you played WWF Superstars or it was a WWF game, and you could see Billy and Jimmy in the crowd. They used I can't remember which WWF game it was. Royal Rumble maybe or Superstars.
I'm pretty sure it was Superstars.
Yeah. So yeah, you and me both, Brody. You and me both. But yeah, it's they were in there. They've done crossovers. There was a game that they I don't remember what it was called, but it was two twins battle together to beat another enemy in a completely different game. But when they do that, it plays that classic Double Dragon theme song while they're fighting together as twin brothers. So it's kind of a good callback. But
yeah, I'm not sure which game that is, but yeah.
The WWF one, you mean?
No, the game with you were saying that the callback.
I watched it in that same video of the guy that showed all the adaptations of the home console versions.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. But I mean, including they made a Double Dragon movie, continuing that success.
Yes, they did.
And that was in the late or mid 90s, I think. 1994 was when this one was released.
And it's just as bad as it sounds.
Is it as bad as the Super Mario Brothers movie from back then?
I think it was a little better, but I don't think it was quite that terrible.
We better watch it now.
Let's be honest, though. I mean, Super Mario, it was actually a fun movie, but by today's standards, it wasn't the best.
I got my hand slapped by Broderick in the chat for down talking Super Mario Brothers, the movie.
If you watch it, it was actually a fun movie.
I watched it. We did an episode. I did an episode on it by myself. I had never seen it though, so I watched it for the first time a month ago. Going in thinking I'm watching a Super Mario Brothers movie, and I'm not watching a Super Mario Brothers movie.
And that's part of it is you didn't see it like when it came out, so it's to you it's going to be like, oh, this movie's dated, and it's the graphics aren't great and all that stuff. So if you watched it when you were younger, you would have more attachment to it. So when you were saying it wasn't great, I agreed, but I also liked it a little bit because when I was younger, it was kind of fun, playing the video game and then actually seeing the Koopa Troopas, and it was kind of fun. Like, okay, let me put it to you this way: like 2 years ago, the night before my wife and I went on vacation, she had never seen the movie The Crow. The Crow came out in 1994. It's if you watch it now, it is very dated. The graphics are very bad, but the story is really, really good. And that's exactly what she told me. She's like, well, I liked it, but it's really dated. So that kind of comes into play when you watch some of these older movies,
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I would have much better, thoughts about it probably if I watched it as a kid growing up. Just like we're getting ready to cover a movie called Mac and Me.
Yes, sir.
August, which is a god awful movie, but it's going to be a make for a fun episode.
But at the time, it wasn't god awful.
Yeah, no, you're right. It probably was. I don't know. Let's be.
Yeah, it probably was.
But I have more of a rose-colored glasses because I watched it a lot as a kid. My grandma liked it. So, speaking of next week, Before we wrap up, we got a few more topics to cover before we close this out. But I do want to play a quick promo video advertising our upcoming episodes. So this is what we get to look forward to for Nostalgia Mania.
Well, I'll tell you something. This is no longer a vacation. It's a quest. It's a quest for fun. I'm going to have fun, and you're going to have fun. We're all going to have so much.
Well, the first thing you gotta realize, brother, is this right here is the future of wrestling. You can call this the new world order of wrestling, brother.
I'm excited, man.
I'm very excited. And when you sent me that video the other day and I saw that SummerSlam 92 was on there, I got hyped. I was like, yes, this is going to be fun.
I was like, we got to do – so there was going to be 2 SummerSlams. So I decided to do the one that was further in the past because we got to do a WWF or WWE event. And I think the earlier versions of WWF with, this is going to have – Bulldog and Brett for the Intercontinental title, that main event at SummerSlam for the IC title, which is phenomenal.
It was.
But we're also going to see Macho Man and Warrior for the world title. This is a show without Hulk Hogan, guys. This is going to be great. I'm just saying.
Yep. I agree with you. It'll be fun. We got some fun episodes coming up.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Starting with next week with National Lampoon's Vacation.
Yes. That I think that episode's probably going to be an hour.
100%. We're going to do it. Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. I can't wait. So, did you – I don't know if we went over this, but do you have any specific memories of the first time playing Double Dragon? Maybe talk about any time you had a buddy over and played co-op or anything like that. What are some of your first memories of playing the game?
So I don't really have a lot of first memories, like as far as like the first time I played it. But I do remember, like I said, I'm really close with my cousins. Like my cousin Jim and cousin Joan are like my brother and sister. Always stayed over there. Like I said, they're very close to my age. My cousin lived his bedroom was in the basement, and they also had a living room where his Nintendo was. So we would stay up till all hours of the night. We'd order pizza at like 10:30 at night. We'd eat pizza and play. And there was one night we stayed up till like 4 a.m. playing, trying to beat the game. And I think we got like 1 or 2 bosses away from the final stage, and finally we're just like, we gotta go to bed. So we played a lot of it, and it was always fun.
I wish you would have been able to get to that final boss, as you say, because the ending is quite a twist for an early video game. Because you're controlling Billy and Jimmy Lee, Billy, I believe, being the blue, Jimmy's the red.
Yes.
And so what happens, which I did not realize this either because I had never beaten the game, is you're battling throughout the entire game, whether you're single player or 2 players, you're battling to save the girl, right? Which is, I believe, Billy's girlfriend. And that's the concept, right? So you get to the final boss, you get all the way up to what's the final boss's name? I think it was Willie. The guy with the gun. So once you defeat him and you see her kind of hanging there and dangling, if you are a 2-player game, let's just rewind this. If it's a single player game, so you take you're taking Billy all the way through and you beat the game, you defeat Willie and you're about ready to get your girlfriend down, off from the side, comes Jimmy, your twin brother, as the leader of the entire Black Warriors the entire time.
Yep.
And you are fighting your brother for the girl at the very, very end. So what you think is the end, then it's the complete twist, and you're facing your twin brother, and that's who you have to beat as the final boss. If you're playing 2 players, then you beat Willie together, and then all of a sudden you turn to each other and you fight each other and whoever wins gets the girl, and that's how it closes out. It could be Jimmy, but whoever.
It was kind of crazy for back then, I mean, it's not a twist that anyone would have put in any game at that time.
Yeah. That's a wrestling storyline, like heel turn.
It really is. It really is.
Turn heel.
It's like Jimmy turn heel. Yeah. It was. I mean, I recommend that for anyone. If you have a chance to play it on Nintendo, that would be the best option, because chances of you finding an actual stand-up, probably pretty hard. But if you have a chance to play it, it's just a fun game.
Yep. Brody, did you play arcade, or did you play the that was not in the movie? I know, and it was only in arcade and NES. If you played Atari, if you played Sega, if you played computer, it was not in there either. It was only on the arcade, and it was on NES. Those were the only 2 versions that heel turn. I don't think it was on Super Nintendo, was it?
No, I don't believe so. Just the original NES.
Maybe Double Dragon 2 might have been on maybe would have been on Super Nintendo, but I don't think the original was. Maybe I'm wrong. But even then, I think Double Dragon 2 was out. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, that was later on. So I'm pretty sure that the NES never, or Super NES never had the original.
Yeah, I didn't think so either. But man, what a game. Love, and I've said this at the top, you mentioned your memories. Like, anytime I can get a cooperative video game where you and a buddy can sit down or stand up at an arcade and play together on the same team for the same goal, that was one of my favorite concepts growing up. Love doing that. So anytime that I could get the chance to do that, and this game was one of the first ones I always went to. Yep. It was Super Double Dragon. Yep. So I added this to last week's episode. So we're going to start doing this. And I think we might do a bonus episode one of these days and just roll through all of our previous episodes and do this to each one. Sure. But we're going to give no matter what it is, a video game, a movie, a TV show, blockbuster, or whatever our topic is for the evening, we're going to give it a nostalgia score. So what I'm going to do here is I'm pulling this up, and every episode we're going to pull this up, and each one of us is going to rank it 1 through 5, and there's your nostalgia score. So obviously the top one is Nostalgia Mania, of course. All-time classic defines your childhood. A 4 is high nostalgia. You loved it growing up, and it was a big part of your childhood. 2 to 3 is a medium nostalgia. Some memories of it, but not overwhelming. Number 1 is a light nostalgia. You remember it existed, but it didn't impact you much. And then obviously 0, you barely remember it, and there's no strong connection to the game. So we'll let you go first on Double Dragon. Kind of talk to us where you rank it and why you rank it.
Okay, I like it. I like the rating system quite a bit. I actually, I have a lot of memories of playing it, and it was a game that we played quite a bit. I'm going to rank it up there at 4. We had, like my cousins, this is one of the games that you'd go up to like Blockbuster or even the local mom and pop shop, which is where we got it, and rented it. we would go up there and not even have the game on us and say, hey, look, we're going to rent this, for another week or another 2 weeks. And at one point, I think we had Double Dragon for like easily 4 months, like just going up there. So, this one we played quite a bit. I'd say 4 on this one.
I like it. I think I agree with Broderick on this. I think I'm going to go a little bit below that. If I could, I would probably rank it just a straight up 3. But since we've only got, 5 selections here, I'm going to go with a 2 to 3, medium nostalgia. More so because it came out a little bit before my time as a gamer. Sure. Even though I was in the bowling alley, much like you, me, and Jason, I played it. I gravitated toward it at Capitol Bowling Lanes in Grandview. I love the game, but I don't. There's many more video games and arcades that I would probably rank in the 4 to 5 category, and I think Double Dragon is barely under the 4. And I would put it. I would put it as 2 to 3. It's a medium for me.
Yeah, that's fair. I get that.
So.
Okay, so I have to ask. You didn't watch it when you were a kid, and I got you to watch it. Where would you rank Blues Brothers?
Because if it's a nostalgia score, then yeah, I would probably put it at a number 1, only because it didn't. I remember it, but it didn't impact me much, right? So like, I would rank it more toward the bottom, just because. Like, and you would probably be a 5.
Me being a little older, I would say 5, definitely, because there's a lot that in everyday life, like, people don't like. You've maybe have met my wife once or twice. Like there's so many like little inside jokes that you have in marriage, and there's so many like lines from movies, and I quote that movie so much. It's hilarious.
That's awesome. Me and my wife have the same things. We quote different things to each other that only we would get. Brody, the inside joke that Brody's in on is Fazoli's. If that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to explain it.
I don't need an explanation. It's hilarious.
He remembers it. Then we're good.
That's hilarious. And another big one that I know with us is Clue.
Oh, dude.
There's so many lines.
Yeah. We're doing the movie and we're doing the freaking board game we'll do them both in the same episode. But Clue, I love Clue.
Yep. So that one, I know we did the board game when we did board games. That was one of mine. But my birthday is August 8th. And the 10th, we are going to the New Dinner Theater to see Clue. And I am very, very excited about that.
I love me some Tim Curry, man.
Oh.
Also in Stephen King's It.
Yes, absolutely. He's a very, very, very good actor.
Sorry, what's this show's rating? Oh. You're talking about Nostalgia Mania's rating. Yes.
We're a 5.
Yeah.
We're a 5.
Well, no, I think he meant like, because what he said in the chat, which he got it. No, it's not PG, Brody.
Sure.
I cussed. We go live later in the evening and we can do a little bit of cussing. So I always put not for kids when I upload these onto YouTube. So we can get away with saying a few more things. So anyway,
we try not to, but occasionally
we'll limit it, but we're not going to be dropping F-bombs every other, sentence. Like we may do on the hot tag every once in a while, depending on what happens.
That's inevitable with Chase.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Well, that kind of concludes it. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. It's always a great time when you all join in and participate in the chat, because it helps us keep the conversation rolling. It's more entertaining for us and for the viewers and the listeners, for you listening on the podcast platform. Autumn was in the house. Hunter Dillon, Broderick Hall was here. I believe that was it for the live chatters. Yep.
Yeah. A lot of fun.
A lot of fun. And you said 30 minutes. We're almost an hour, Bryan J.
Well, almost an hour. Yes. Well, since we're both out of town, I figure we both kind of wanted to keep it short, but when you're having fun, you got to keep going.
We're live from Dallas, Texas. We're live from Springfield, Missouri. We appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in, for listening. Please like, share, subscribe on whatever platform you're listening or watching us on. Help us grow. We have a pretty good live viewership count tonight, so we appreciate that. If you can, go follow us on social media, Bryan_J Bebe, or Bryan J _.
Bryan J _Bebe.
Yeah, the underscore's after the J on Instagram and on X and on TikTok. You can follow JSE Studios on all those platforms as well. Nostalgia Mania on your podcast platforms. With that being said, we're going to cover National Lampoon's Vacation next week. I'm excited. Brian's excited. It's going to be a fun time. Let's get out of here, man.
Sounds good.
Elliott. This is Bryan J. Bebe. And as always, let's get nostalgic.